After inductive and deductive reasoning, the third method which has been introduced by the Charles Sanders Pearson. Peirce has introduced this theory, that is abductive method. Abductive method is the mixed form of inductive and deductive method. The abductive logic of research was formulated with this assumption that no fact cannot be ignored in the process of discovery in science, leaving it to the history of facts. In the process of discovery, whatever new facts, informations interacted with the researcher, he should not ignore such new information merely on the basis of indicators decided by him by following his deductive approach. The process of discovery that intends to provide the explanation of a new and surprising fact is called the abduction. Basically, this method suggests that any new fact or surprising fact which can be relevant for the research has to be considered and examined properly, and thereafter any inference can be drawn. This is the in-between approach between inductive and deductive method, where the researcher starts researching on the basis of information in his hand, but that information is not that much perfect or sufficient to form any deductive theory, or what we can say, on the basis of incomplete information, incomplete theory, any provisional hypothesis can be formed, and that provisional hypothesis is directed and further investigation is made on the basis of that direction, and thereafter if any new fact come across or found in the research, that has to be accepted in the stock of knowledge. And after accepting and analyzing the new and surprising fact which was not anticipated by the researcher earlier, that can give the new dimension to the existing assumption, supposition or the theories. This abductive logic is applied in such cases where the researcher does not possess the sufficient information to form any perfect hypothesis. Whatever partial information he has, he proceeds with that partial information, and in between any new data is also induced by the researcher. The indicators of abductive reasoning are basically used with this process, but the approach of inductive method, that is the open to accept the facts, that is also maintained with this research process. Abductive reasoning can be processed on the basis of knowledge, experience and probationary hypothesis, and after this second stage, any new fact which is not known or not anticipated, if found, that is accepted, and on the basis of that new knowledge, the previous knowledge is improved or modified. This is the abductive reasoning process. After the whole discussion over the methods of data collection process applied, therefore, focusing on various aspects and material relating to this method of data collection, especially in legal research, at last I am going to summarize the whole lecture as the data collection is an important phase of research design. Before data collection, an ideal approach has to be drawn by the researcher that what data is to be collected, how data will be collected. For taking the decision of data collection, researchers should consider the nature of data, sources of information, authoritativeness of informative source, their reliability, and the logical reasoning which is necessarily be applied for every research process. In legal research, there is the combination of all three methods, whether it is the method of doctrinal or empirical, as to the sources of data, whether it is the primary or secondary, or the approaches, whether inductive, deductive or abductive. And after analyzing all, we can come to conclusion that all the methods are proper, appropriate for the data collection, but it should be focused in the light of research, problem, hypothesis and availability of the resources. Thank you and goodbye.